There are some things I wish I would have known before becoming a software engineer, and so in this video I'll tell you about 4 things I really wish someone would have told me before getting into it, and some of these are not spoken about that often, so stick around if you're curious. Now, I've been an embedded software engineer for 3 years, working mainly with C++, embedded Linux, Python and the web. At this point I've spent thousands of hours working in the very same computer chair, at the same desk, just writing code. I've worked on big things like a brand new Linux platform for embedded devices, been to France to get our first ever fully electric vessel into the sea, and I've refactored large parts of very old codebases into something highly maintainable. I always knew I wanted to be a software engineer, and I felt like I knew what I was getting into when I set out on this path. But despite this, there are still many things I wish I would have known before getting into this job, and I will share these with you now. The first one is that while life as a programmer overall is great, some things in life have certainly gotten worse since I became one. I'd say for sure that my social skills are worse now than they were back when I was working as a security guard earlier in life. These days I spend nearly all my life at the computer, and so it's not surprising that interacting with humans has become more difficult. Social skills, just like any skill, diminishes over time if not maintained. Back when I did security, I was speaking to people all day every day, and so I got good at it, but these days it's a little bit worse. Also, programming is quite tiring. On many days I feel exhausted when I come home from work, and on the weekends. This was not the case when I worked my simple security guard job. There are also the effects of sitting all day, which for me leads to various body pains, and staring at a screen has made my vision worse for sure. All jobs come with sacrifices, but be aware of these if you're considering a life as a programmer. The next thing I wish I knew earlier was how long it takes to get skilled at programming. The Dunning-Kruger effect is very real. Once I got hired, I quickly felt like a programming god, but I soon realized that I know nearly nothing at all. But after 3 years of doing this every single day, I'm finally starting to feel like I know a thing or two about it. And to be honest, I think it'll probably take a decade to master the skill of programming. So be warned, if you're getting into programming, it'll take a while to get skilled. Also on that note, imposter syndrome is very common in this industry. I know people who have been coding for longer than I've been alive say they sometimes feel like they know nothing at all. Moving on, legacy code is everywhere. The amount of time I've spent cleaning up, refactoring and just trying to comprehend legacy code is astonishing. Most of the real world runs on legacy code. The finance industry is practically built upon COBOL, for example. I work mostly on 20-year-old C and C++ code. Programming is rarely about the latest and greatest JavaScript framework. It's usually about dragging code written decades ago into the 20th century. I remember being in university learning to code, and they only taught me how to develop things from scratch. To this day, I've yet to develop something from scratch in my professional life. Instead, it's always about maintaining old stuff. I do wish university was set up to prepare us for the real world. Another thing that I wish I would have known before becoming a software engineer is that it's more about reading code than writing code. To give you a rough idea, I'd say I spend about 75% of the time reading and comprehending code, and only 25% of the time actually writing it. And at university I only learned how to write code, not read it. So this is something I wish I would have known earlier, and it's a good lesson for why we should put effort into writing code that's easy to understand, so that those who come after can have an easier time working on it. You don't want to come across a poorly written block of code, wondering who created this monstrosity, only to realize that it is in fact your own code written years ago. Being a software engineer is incredible, and I can't recommend it enough, but there are some things you should know before getting into it, and so I hope this video provided you with that information. If it did, please click like and subscribe. What are some things you wish you knew before getting into programming? And if you'd like to learn how to program things for yourself faster than anywhere else while also having a good time, then check out my Speedy Python Fast Track course, linked in the video description.